Hi, everyone. It's Carol here from Tapping Into Sleep. And today I come with a big question. Do you trust your sleep? Do you trust that your mind and body knows what to do to fall asleep? For so many of us who have struggled with sleep for so long, I know the answer is no. How can I trust my body to go to sleep when it doesn't do it night after night? So today I wanted to do some tapping on how can we learn to trust our mind and body to fall asleep, and so that we can get back to sleeping and living a full, healthy life. So before we do that, why don't you go to my website, tappingintosleep.com, or click the link in the description below and go read my disclaimer before we continue to do some tapping. And while you're on my website, why don't you download my free guide, Journey to Better Sleep, 5 action steps that you can do today to start improving the quality of your sleep, and give that a read. All right, so let's set this up. I'm going to ask you the question, and I want you to repeat this. I trust my sleep. I trust that my body will fall asleep on its own. How true does that feel in your body right now from a 0 to a 10? If it's a 0, that's okay. If it's a 10, that's perfect. You don't even need to do this tapping. When I asked myself that question this morning, I automatically assumed I would have been a 10. I trust my sleep. And the number that came into my mind was a 9. And I wondered why that was. Well, I spent a lot of years not sleeping. And part of my story that I probably haven't shared much on here is I was so sleep deprived that I lost the feelings in both my hands and feet, because there was, no oxygen going to my hands and feet because my system was so activated in the fight or flight. And when I would go to bed at night, sleep wouldn't come. So my body had lost the ability to fall asleep. So how could I trust that sleep would come? It was only when I started doing proper mindset work and doing behaviors and actions that actually created the perfect conditions for my mind and body to go to sleep that I regained that trust in my sleep. So I'm telling you that so that you know that even though you don't trust your sleep in this moment, it is possible to change that. All right, so let's do some tapping. I'm excited to see what will come up. So I want you to say whatever your statement is that we're going to measure as we go along. It's either I trust that my body knows how to fall asleep, or my body has the ability to fall asleep on its own. I trust my sleep. Whatever that sounds like for you, write it down. Write that statement down, that belief, that limiting belief in the moment. Then rate it from 0 to a 10 and see if we're going to move the needle on that at all today. All right, so even though I don't trust my sleep right now, right here, right now, I'm okay. And even though I no longer trust in my body's ability to fall asleep, in this moment, I'm okay. And even though I no longer trust that my body knows how to fall asleep, and my mind certainly doesn't know how to shut off and go to sleep, I acknowledge that this is what I'm thinking right now. Right top of the head, I don't trust my body's ability to fall asleep. It's not possible for my body to fall asleep on its own. How can it? It hasn't done it for years. I don't trust my sleep. I don't trust that sleep will come, because it doesn't. I don't trust in my body's natural ability to fall asleep. Even if part of me knows that we are biologically wired for sleep. Yeah, our body is biologically wired for sleep. So why doesn't my sleep come? I don't trust my sleep. My sleep is not consistent. So I'm choosing not to trust my sleep. Right, I want you to tune into your body. Is that showing up anywhere in your body when you say that? Right, we know that we might have a thought. The thought is, I don't trust my sleep. What is the emotion that brings up? Anger is the first one that came to my mind. Right, what is that emotion that comes up when you say, I don't trust my sleep? It's unfair. Why does everybody else sleep but not me? How can I trust my sleep? My body is betraying me. Those are just some examples. What is it for you that shows up, whether as an emotion, as a thought, or as a body sensation, when you say, I don't trust my sleep? Or the opposite, when you say, I trust my sleep. All right. So what's really strong for me is my body is betraying me. Okay. And so I'm going to rate that from 0 to a 10. And when I bring myself back to those days of not sleeping, because it's different for me today, but when I go back to those days and I say that, like, my body was betraying me by keeping me awake, even though that I knew sleep was essential, my body just didn't know how to do it. That anger towards that betrayal of my body is probably like a 10. Right? I feel that just showing up in my neck there, my throat. Right? So let's do some tapping on that. So you put whatever emotion, thought, whatever's coming on for you. You can use my words and use borrowing benefits, or you can use your own words. Right? So even though I'm feeling this anger just up in my throat there, because my body was betraying me. My body wasn't doing what it was supposed to do. Yeah, I acknowledge this anger. And even though I do feel this anger in my throat right now, it's moving up to my ears. Why did my body listen to me? It was betraying me by keeping me awake. I acknowledge this anger right now. And even though the energy just moved to the back of my neck, I'm feeling this anger that's now in the back of my neck. Follow that energy as it moves in your body. Because my body was betraying me right here, right now. Okay. Right through the points. How can I trust my sleep when my body was betraying me? If my body is biologically wired for sleep, then why was it betraying me? Feeling betrayed by my body. I just had a thought come in, and this is what I want you to pay attention to when you have that thought come in. What's that thought about? Well, I wasn't given it the perfect conditions for sleep. When I look back on what I was doing, I was not processing the stress of my day. I was drinking coffee all day, like up to supper time, and probably 5-6 cups a day so I could function. I was not creating the perfect environment for my body to fall asleep. And now I have compassion for myself because I didn't know that I was doing all the wrong actions. So I have compassion for myself. I was doing what I knew at the time. All right. Just a little bit of a reset here. I want you to sit with this, what we just kind of came up with, and ask yourself, what action can you do differently to set up the perfect environment for your mind and body to go to sleep? What would that look like for you? Right? And so if you have a lot of stress in your day, how can you unpack the stress before you go to bed? What is one thing you can commit to unpacking the stress before you go to bed? Maybe it's doing 10 minutes of tapping without words. Maybe it's sitting down and writing your to-do list for the next day. You don't have to keep reminding yourself all night about your to-do list. Maybe I can just take the last hour of my day and do some self-care, whatever that looks like. What other actions can I do during the day that will set up my mind and body for sleep? For me, it's no coffee afternoon. Is that for you? Is it making sure you have 3 healthy meals? Is it making sure you get up from your computer at lunchtime? Right? Yeah, getting up from your computer and going for a walk. Moving my body. Moving some energy. All right, back to the beginning. I want you to ask yourself this question. Whatever statement you wrote down, using those same words, I trust my sleep. And feel 0 to a 10. How high is that right now? And I would say that it went up to 100% for me, like a 10. Because doing this round of tapping just reminded me of all the things that I do, not to control my sleep, but to allow sleep to come, right? There's a difference between controlling and allowing. And so I do a brain dump each day, clear my mind. I do prioritize my sleep. I love my bed. It's so comfy. I got a perfect blanket on it. My mom is actually the one who quilted it for me. So when I go to bed, I'm going into a bed where my mom has made my blanket. Still special today, right? And so what can you do? What are you going to commit to help your body and your mind trust that sleep will come? That was great. I know I feel good. So in order to get your sleep back on track, what can you do? First thing, go to my website, Tapping Into Sleep. Grab your free guide, Journey to Better Sleep, 5 action steps to improve the quality of your sleep. Second thing, if you need help, make sure to go on my page, work with Carol, and book your optimal sleep assessment. I can help you create routines, get your sleep back on track, manage your stress, tap through what is actually a belief so that we can reframe them and let sleep come to your body, because you're so worth it and sleep is worth it. And once we sleep, life is just magical. You can accomplish everything you want in life. I know I'm proof that sleep can be that awful and then that good. We just have to work at it sometimes without controlling it. We have to allow sleep in. So that's it for today. I hope this video helped you. If it does, please share it with a friend, subscribe to my channel, and let me know what you want to see next. Bye.